Imagine a man who once commanded respect, honor, and loyalty, an army officer who led his troops into battle with unwavering courage. Now, picture that same man, Arthur Art Coleman, sitting on a cold, unforgiving sidewalk, invisible to the world that once celebrated him. How did a decorated war hero fall so far from grace? Why does no one stop to help? And what would it take for anyone to see the man behind the scars? One cold November evening, a black car pulled up, and out stepped a man who noticed what everyone else had ignored. That man was none other than Steve Harvey, the famous comedian and television host. What he saw in Art's eyes stopped him in his tracks, a story of pain, loss, and resilience waiting to be told. But this is no ordinary tale of struggle. This is a story of redemption, a second chance, and the life-changing power of compassion. How did Steve Harvey change Art's life forever? What secrets lie in Art's past that make his journey even more remarkable? You won't want to miss a single moment of this emotional roller coaster. Stick around, because the answers to these questions will leave you inspired and maybe even in tears. Welcome to Storytime with Rose. Hello, Storytime family. If you're new here, welcome to the channel that brings you stories filled with heart, courage, and inspiration. Before we get into today's gripping story, hit that subscribe button. Join our growing community and never miss a tale that could change the way you see the world or yourself. If this story already has you hooked, give it a thumbs up. It's a quick way to let us know you love what we're doing, and it helps us bring more stories like this to you. Once the story is over, head down to the comments section and share your thoughts. What part moved you the most? Have you ever experienced or witnessed a moment of unexpected kindness? Let's talk about it. Finally, if you know someone who loves a good story or might need a little hope today, share this video with them. You never know how far a story like this can travel or how many lives it can touch. Now, buckle up for a soldier's second chancey story filled with suspense, heartbreak, and triumph. Let's begin. The city of Atlanta buzzed with life, its streets crowded with honking cars and bustling pedestrians. Amidst the commotion, an older man named Arthur Art Coleman sat on a cold, cracked sidewalk. His weathered face bore the marks of battles fought long ago, both on the battlefield and in life. Art, a retired army officer, had once been a decorated hero, leading his troops with honor in conflicts overseas. Now, he was invisibly a homeless man ignored by the very people he once swore to protect. Art clutched a cardboard sign that read, "Veteran in need. Anything helps." His uniform had been replaced by a tattered coat, and the medals he once proudly wore now sat in a small dented tin box by his side. Each passerby avoided his gaze. Some hurriedly walked past, clutching their belongings tighter, while others pretended to be engrossed in their phones. The humiliation stung, but Art was too proud to beg. At night, Art's memories haunted him. He'd sacrificed everything: his youth, his health, and his family for his country. Yet, after his discharge, he struggled to adapt. PTSD took hold, jobs became scarce, and soon the walls of his small apartment closed in on him. One day, they were gone altogether. It was a chilly November evening when Art's fate began to change. He sat outside a coffee shop, shivering as the warm glow from inside teased him. A tall man stepped out, adjusting his hat and scarf. Art didn't recognize him at first. His thoughts were clouded by hunger and exhaustion. The man was none other than Steve Harvey, the famous comedian and television host. Steve was in town for a charity event, but as he walked toward the cafe, his sharp eyes caught sight of Art. Steve paused, his heart sinking. Something about Art's postureth defeated slump of his shoulders, the quiet dignity in his eyes struck a chord. Steve had always been an advocate for second chances, and this man screamed of a story untold. Steve walked over, crouching down to meet Art's gaze. "Hey there, brother," Steve said warmly. "What's your name?" Art hesitated. He wasn't used to people noticing him, let alone speaking to him like he mattered. "Arthur," he replied quietly. "Arthur, huh? I'm Steve. You hungry?" Steve didn't wait for a reply. He waved to his assistant, who quickly returned with a bag of food and a steaming cup of coffee. Art's hands trembled as he accepted the meal. "Thank you," he muttered, overwhelmed by the rare act of kindness. Over the next few days, Steve made it his mission to learn Art's story. They met in the mornings at the same coffee shop, where Art gradually opened up about his struggles. "I didn't think it would be this hard," Art admitted one day. "I gave everything for this country. But now, it feels like no one remembers." Steve nodded, his heart heavy. "People don't see the battles you're still fighting," he said. "But I see you, Arthur." Steve didn't stop at words. He called upon his vast network, arranging for Art to have a full medical evaluation, counseling for his PTSD, and even a temporary place to stay. But more importantly, Steve encouraged Art to dream again. "What do you want to do, Arthur? If you could start fresh, what would it look like?" Art thought for a long moment before replying, "I want to help others like me. No one should feel this invisible." Months passed, and Art began to transform. With Steve's help, he launched a nonprofit organization dedicated to supporting homeless veterans. The organization, called Second Chance Heroes, provided housing. Art became a beacon of hope, sharing his story on national television and at Steve Harvey's talk shows. His words resonated with millions. "I fought for this country, and now I'm fighting for those who are forgotten. No one is too far gone for a second chance." 1 year after their chance meeting, Steve invited Art to his annual charity gala. Dressed in a crisp suit, Art took the stage to a standing ovation. Tears welled in his eyes as he looked out at the crowd. "I stand here today not because of my strength, but because someone saw me when I couldn't see myself," Art said. He turned to Steve, his voice trembling. "Thank you for reminding me that my story isn't over." Steve smiled, his eyes glistening. "Arthur, you've done more than rise, you've soared. And that's what a hero does." As the audience erupted in applause, Art knew this was just the beginning. He had found his purpose again, and with it, a new sense of belonging. Art's nonprofit grew into a nationwide movement, changing countless lives. His story became a testament to resilience, proving that even in the darkest times, hope could be found with the right helping hand. And Steve Harvey? He remained a steadfast supporter, reminding everyone that kindness, no matter how small, could spark a revolution. And that, my friends, is the incredible journey of Arthur Art Colmanaman, who went from being a forgotten war hero to a beacon of hope for so many others. His story reminds us that no matter how dark life gets, there's always a chance for redemption, especially when kindness and compassion light the way. What did you think about this story? Let me know in the comments below. Was it Steve Harvey's unexpected kindness, art's transformation, or the message of never giving up that touched your heart the most? I can't wait to hear your thoughts and stories. Before you go, subscribe! If you haven't already, don't miss your chance to join the story time with Rose family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss another inspiring story. If this story moved you, take a second to hit the like button. It's a small gesture, but it helps this channel grow and reach more people who might need a little hope today. Share. Know someone who loves motivational stories or could use a spark of inspiration? Click that share button and send them this story. You never know whose life you might change just by sharing. Thank you for spending your time with me today. Remember, every story has the power to inspire, heal, and unite us. Until next time, keep believing in second chances and always look for the good in others. This is Rose, signing off. See you in the next story.